So I am one of those infamous writers with depression, and in this video I'm going to discuss the pros and cons of writing with a mental health issue. Hello there, humans! I am Selfcenteredness. I'm a sci-fi writer, a little bit of a poet, and I'm currently published with a short story romance in a disability and romance anthology. If you're curious about that, you can purchase. The link is down in the description box. But today I'm going to talk about pros and cons of writing with depression. And just to put things clear, I am diagnosed by a therapist. I have depression, anxiety, PTSD symptoms, and a bunch of other things, but I'm not going to go into details. I'm just going to say that my diagnosis is professional. I did go into medications and I no longer could afford it, so I had to cut them off. But as soon as I can solve that problem, I am going to go back to it, if I can. I mean, whenever that happens. But I am a person who is pro medications, as long as you and your therapist work together to find the antidepressant that best works for you, because depression and the chemical in everybody's brain is different, so things are going to affect people differently. So please work with your therapist until you find the best fitting medication. Don't give up. I talk by experience, just don't give up, okay? Anyway, at the time of recording this video, writing is my only coping mechanism with whatever it is that affects me at the time. So yeah, here are a few pros and cons. Number one is a con, and the thing is, with me at least, I write chronologically, and whatever it is that I need to write doesn't always match with my emotional state. So it is a problem because it can delay me. It's a setback, and I don't know how to go about this happy scene or this more upbeat scene or whatever it is that doesn't match with my mood at the time. And I start to criticize myself and I feel like it's not genuine. And then I start to feel that it's forced. And I'm the one who is being so hard on myself. No one else is reading it at the time. But if it doesn't match my emotions, it is problematic because I feel like I don't have the capability of writing this or that thing, when in truth I am totally capable. It's just that at the moment I am not separating myself from whatever it is that I need to write. And here is where that piece of advice, it's not mine, it's a piece of advice given by my mom, and whenever the topic comes into conversation, she mentions that I have to learn, and this is a process and it's not easy. It sounds difficult, and it's even more difficult than it sounds. But we have to learn to separate ourselves from whatever it is that we're working on if we want to, keep things professional. And yes, sometimes I have to write something that doesn't match my current state. And because this is such a hard thing to accomplish. It's not that I am self-centered, it's like sometimes my whatever it is that is affecting me is too big for me to handle, and just handling this whatever thing that it is too big for me, it already is a problem. So separating myself from that in order to do something else could be very difficult. But I try my best to learn and work on it every time that it presents itself. And well, if we want to be professional writers, we just have to put up with it and go on. Keep on writing. Number two, and this is a pro. Sometimes when your emotional state actually matches whatever it is that you need to write, it could be your best ally, because your emotions are currently in sync with whatever it is that you need to put on the page. And it shows. It really shows to your readers. It is such a way of making your characters unique, or your narrative unique, whatever it is. You go into yourself and you work on your current emotions, and it helps you with, for example, avoiding cliches, because not everybody feels things in the same way. And everybody puts someone else's words sometimes. When we're writing something that feels a little bit forced, usually we pull out from other things that we've read before. But when it is your own emotions, when you are really just putting names to whatever that you're feeling at that time, it shows in your story or your essay or whatever. And it really makes you stand out in a way, because everything that you're putting out there is quite authentic when you're doing this, and your readers are going to like it. Number 3 is actually another con, and I have talked about this in another video. It's emotional draining. Sometimes when you and whatever it is that you need to write are in sync, and you just go on about it and you write and write about it, you can get drained. Sometimes I'm writing things that I really want to talk about with my stories, and I want to expose a few things that I've experienced, and I just want to share it with the world because I think it could help someone out there. Sometimes I just amplify whatever that I not necessarily want to remember, and it could delay me. It actually does. It tires me, it makes me feel overwhelmed. I have to stop writing, I have to take a break because I am drained, and then I start getting distracted with other things. I mean, it's natural, but if writing is my coping strategy, why am I just running away from it? Because sometimes it really just, it is tiring. You have to be careful with how much you put into it. Even though you want to be genuine and authentic and all that, you sometimes just don't push yourself too hard. Don't go too far when it comes to your emotional spoons, so to speak. Number 4, this is a pro. It can be very relatable to a lot of people. And please forgive me because I'm not the best at pulling off statistics. Not only that I'm visually impaired, but it's kind of like a form of dyslexia, because when it comes to numbers and charts of numbers, everything just starts coming all over, and I don't know which number is which anymore after a while. So I am not here to bring you exact statistics numbers, but if my memory is correct and what I have heard is correct, depression is the first or the second is one of the top disabling conditions in our current society. There's a lot of people out there, millions and millions and millions of people with depression. Therefore, if you want to write about these kind of things at some point or another, there's a lot of people who relate. Don't be afraid of bringing it up and fighting the stigma that surrounds mental health, because a lot of people relate, and it could be very beneficial for you as an author, and it could be very beneficial to your readers because they have someone to genuinely connect to. And it can, if your characters overcome all these depressions alongside the plot, whatever it is that you put into your novel, maybe they have to, I don't know, become financially successful. Maybe it's a story about overcoming finances and whatever, financial debt or whatever it is, but they also have to deal with depression. I am one of those who doesn't want to make depression the central theme of the book, but I want it to be there alongside whatever it is that my book is about. And I want to do that because I know that there's a lot of people who their life is not just having depression, but it plays a big role in their lives. So I want to do that. I want to have this juxtaposition, juxtaposition of the two things that they have to handle. As I don't see that always in books, or sometimes it's portrayed in a kind of superficial way sometimes, I might be missing a lot of new books because audiobooks, if I don't have audiobooks, anyway, I'm going on a tangent. Yeah, but if you know my channel, you know what I'm talking about. But hey, I don't see that a lot, so I want to write about it, and I just want to bring it up because I know I would have loved to see that when I was younger, and I would have felt a deeper connection with some fictional characters. Therefore, I would have felt a connection with authors out there, and I would have felt a little bit less alone. People with depression have the tendency sometimes to isolate themselves, never talk about it, never seek therapy by themselves, or it's very rare at least. I mean, isolation is very dangerous. So if they can stumble upon your book or whoever's book, and they can feel a little bit less lonely, then you're doing your readers quite a big of a favor there. Number 6, this is a con. There are people who struggle really hard with some issues, and if your book contains this and this and that, and it feels like it's too much for them, they might skip your book altogether. Yet, this is a con, but you know what? This is something that you have no control over. People's decisions are something that's completely out of your radar when you are writing. I am not one of those who's going to tell you, don't write this, because a lot of people are not going to like it. Yes, of course a lot of people are not going to like it, and that's the point here. But it shouldn't stop you from expressing whatever it is that you want to express. As I said in the point before, we need to stop the stigma of mental health, and if fiction can help in some way or another, then bring it on. But of course, keep in mind that some people just read for the purpose of escapism. I'm not going to have any comments. People do whatever they want to do with their reading. And some people just want to skip over, oh, this book is too intense for me. They're just going to skip it. And here's where it comes the topic of trigger warnings. I'm going to go into details maybe in a further video because I don't want to make this one too long. But yeah, I mean, this is why there's a hot topic now, not so much currently going on right now, but it always comes up every now and then about adding trigger warnings to your content. I mean, some TV shows and movies have it, so people argue books should have it too. Where do you put them? I don't know, but yeah, we will talk about it maybe in a further video. If you're interested, comment below, and if I have enough comments about that, then maybe I make a video about it. But yeah, some people are just escaping from reality and they don't want to read about whatever it is that you want to discuss with your story about mental health and abuse and all kinds of triggers that you should put as trigger warnings. And on that topic, there is a very interesting video by fellow author tuber Morgan Hazelwood. I'm going to link it below as well. And there you can hear about not traumatizing your characters and subsequently not traumatizing your readers. So yeah, you can write whatever it is. I mean, I am all for writing all kinds of things. I mean, my book, my trilogy is one of those that has everything that could possibly go wrong. It just goes wrong. It does go wrong. It's very, I try to keep it as close as to real life experiences as possible, even though it's fiction, even though it's sci-fi. I am here to expose a few things, if you will. But yeah, it is something to keep in mind. So if you are interested after this video, you can go and watch Morgan's video. It's linked below. Number 6, actually. This is a pro, and it can help you. Writing can help you to just stay away from the monster. Because yeah, if you are like me, or someone who's watching this video is like me, and depression really gets to you, like in my case, for example, I lay down in bed, and I want to sleep forever. It's not like do nothing for the rest of the day. It's not that I don't want to do anything today. It's that I don't want to do anything anymore and I just want to sleep forever and die. Sometimes the monster is too big for me and I want to escape in my sleep and I just want to die. I'm putting it out there. It's a problem, and it ties with my sleeping pattern problems that I talked about in a previous video. So yeah, I struggle with this thing. It's really difficult, and writing can sometimes help me to start. I wouldn't say start my day, because sometimes starting my day means starting at whatever the time it is that I woke up, but starting my waking time, or whatever, my waking day. It doesn't have to be like, if you don't want to write about your book today, okay, you don't feel like writing about your book today. I mean, I have talked about it in previous points in this video, but try to write, even if it's a poem or a letter or just to vent. Writing is very therapeutic in itself. So it is very recommended to go to therapy and talk to someone, but it's also recommended to write, to just write. Not everything that you're going to write in your life is going to be a masterpiece that is for the masses to read. Not everything is publishable, but writing can help you to just stand from that bed, put on some clothes, even if it's new pajamas or whatever, and start your day. It makes you brew a cup of tea or coffee at least, because if you like writing with coffee, then at least you made coffee, so now you're awake. Therefore, you are slowly but surely starting your day or your waking time. So please fight the monster, however you can. Grab a pen and paper, or pencil and paper, or just open your screen, open your document and write. Anything that comes out, if you don't want to work on your book at the time of writing said document, just write whatever comes out. It might help you to just say, okay, well, I did this now. I'm quite hungry, so what can I eat? And therefore you go to the kitchen, make something to eat, and you can probably just go on about your life. You have fought the monster 1 minute and 1 word at a time. So please just keep on writing. Number 7, this is a con. I think this is my last point for this video. Yeah. Sometimes, because of these emotional states, you can go on unnecessary tangents, and it could be just too much of a word count for your document, which you will fight in your revision and rewriting phases. So yeah, sometimes you want to write a whole monologue about how this world is hopeless and everything is dark and the world is falling to pieces, and nobody wants to understand what's going on with you, and no one cares about anything, and life is meaningless, and you see where I'm going. It's going on and on and on, and sometimes you pull it off and you write as it feels like necessary, and sometimes you just write pages and pages of your character just like struggling with something that has nothing to do with your story at the time being. It can happen. It has definitely happened to me. I have been like, whoa, but this is too long, I have to cut it short. I repeat a sentence that I already mentioned before. I repeat it again because I'm just rambling on and on. Sometimes, like I do it with my videos, and I apologize. But hey, this is what you get. I don't script these things. I try to make bullet points now that I'm progressing with my channel, but hey, I'm still learning. You see, I'm going on a tangent right here. But yeah, it is something that can happen because when there's such a chemical imbalance in your brain, you are not always aware of what's going on. At least I am not aware of what's going on in my experience. Like even talking sometimes is difficult. So yeah, even making these videos is kind of a struggle sometimes. Today I feel like I'm in a stronger mood, so I can do that. At the time of recording this video, remember I film in bulks. So yeah, you see, this rambling is an example of how things can just become unnecessary. I was trying to talk about the con of sometimes your depression can make you write unnecessary things, and now I'm starting to talk unnecessary things. So you see, here you learn by experiencing my videos instead of just me trying to teach you things that I am not an authority on. So yeah, I'm an alien from another galaxy, and my experience is completely different, and I'm only here to share with you. And that's, yeah, just make sure that whatever it is that your tangent is about, whenever you do your revision phase, don't be so hard on yourself. You finished your book. Not everybody finishes their book. So please don't be like this alien who, in the best attempts of being a perfectionist, is so hard on oneself that editing and revising is even more of a struggle than drafting the book in the first place. So please, 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 humans, don't be like me. Don't be so hard on yourself. You did amazing, and now it is time to just cut the tangents and keep what it is the most helpful and the most authentic and the best narrative or dialogue or monologue or whatever it is that you wrote on a tangent. Just cut it short, polish it, keep it to the point, and your story will benefit greatly from it. So yeah, you can transform this con in a pro in the revision phase. Not everything is lost, not everything is hopeless. But I think that's it for today. I think this is it. I have no more points. If I am missing something that you would like to share, make sure to comment below. I read and reply to everything. And thank you very much for watching. See you next time. Bye.